Donald J. Trump will be in attendance front row. Who does Leon have in this fight? Who's he bringing out? Is he bringing out Mary fucking Poppins? Is he bringing out Paddington the Bear? Nah, he's a fucking nobody.
This is Johnny with TigerBomb MMA, and tonight I'm going over UFC 296, Edwards versus Covington, and also Pantoja versus Royval, too, giving my thoughts and predictions on the whole main event. Double co-main event is going to be fantastic. Final card of the year. Looking to make some last-minute money to get some Christmas gifts. I need to buy a specific thing for a specific somebody, and it's going to cost me some money. But overall, a really good card. Fantastic card, bringing a bang to the end of the year. But there's just some great stories and matchups here that I'm really excited to talk about. But before I talk about Pantoja and Royval and Edwards and Covington, I want to give you my thoughts on the previous week's card, the Song versus Gutierrez, which I went 5 and 6. There were a couple no-brainers there. One of my losses, I'll consider it a loss, even though I kind of made money off of it. But interesting overall card, kind of a funky card. There's one fight that really pissed me off, but the Song Yadong and Chris Gutierrez fight was kind of fascinating just based off of what I saw from Chris Gutierrez and from Song Yadong. But first fight of the night, granted, I didn't really pay attention to it. I was at a kid's birthday party, but Talita Alencar defeats Rayanne Amanda. I saw the first round. It went to Amanda. Second round went to Alencar. Third round, I didn't watch it. Didn't even bother going back. It was a split decision. I had picked Amanda to win. I thought she was going to win. It kind of looked based off of my phone as I was again, there's a clown in the background blowing up balloons and shit in Spanish. And I'm just I don't want to have my earbud in, but I'm it sounds like Amanda's going to win. I don't know. It went to Alencar. Don't really care. Didn't bet on it. I considered betting on it, but again, I can't really gamble at a kid's birthday party. I ended up leaving during the Tyra and Carlos Hernandez fight, which I was yo, Carlos, I had a quarter unit on him. And I have to say, man, I was pretty disappointed in Hernandez. He made some pretty poor decisions. He was looking pretty good, especially in the scrambling. But then he did that one thing, that moment that happens in a fight where you just lose all steam, all momentum, and which would be kind of Weidman throwing that spinning back kick to Rockhold. Carlos kind of went for a dump, a wrestling dump, and he landed on his back. Tyra just kind of whipped his ass. I know Carlos is better than that. Honestly, I'm not going to talk shit on him. Tyra's good. That was a possibility. Just, I didn't really expect him to get dropped and then finish with a straight. I know Tyra's striking ain't terrible. He actually has some pretty good strikes, but Hernandez was just kind of too tentative, too afraid of getting taken down, which opened up the punches. So props to Tyra. But again, Carlos, it was just disappointing. I know he can do better than that. Luana Santos defeats Stephanie Egger. This fight disgusted the shit out of me. It was one of the worst slot fests I've ever seen. Santos was just kind of holding her against the cage. Egger couldn't do anything. Santos was exhausted. Egger almost forgot how to fight. It was a terrible fight. 30-27s across the board almost, I believe, for Santos, which I thought was disgusting. I thought Egger did some good work, even as she was getting pinned up against the cage, throwing knees to the body. Just Santos did enough of, throwing sloppy punches and kicks that Egger absorbed, I suppose. It was just disgusting. Santos, to me, both of them, just cut them both. Next bout, Steve Garcia defeats Costa. Now, I knew I was in trouble because I bet Costa by knockout or finish. And I knew I was in trouble when he walked out to that fucking clown music. I'm I'm fucked. I'm really screwed. Because, again, Steve, I know how good Steve is. That was always a possibility. I just did not, for whatever reason, I don't know why. After he had lost that first round, it didn't dawn on me to live bet Steve Garcia. It was a no-brainer, but yet my brain wasn't active. And he just destroyed Costa, who had a terrible game plan, which was, why grapple with a guy like Steve Garcia? That's what he wants to do to you. The best shot is to counter him. I don't know what he was thinking. I know double weight cut and whatever, but it was poor game planning from Costa. The one and true method for victory for him was to counter strike with him. I don't know if Steve made him uncomfortable with that pressure. I still think he could have caught him. Terrible performance from Costa. He looked good in the grappling aspect. I don't know if that was the main game plan from the beginning, but it was just what are you doing, dude? Are you trying to prove a point? He's much bigger. He's a better grappler than you on paper anyways. Well, not on paper. He proved it. And then he busted him up bad. So I don't want to discount Costa. I think I'll give him credit for trying to mix things up. I didn't expect that, but it was just kind of like that was a bad choice of how to handle that. Hyung Sung Park ended my horrible losing streak. I got those 4 losses in a row. Defeats Hyung Sung Park. I expected to finish in the 3rd round. I think a lot of people did. Just that Shannon Ross can't handle it. His body couldn't take it this time. So yeah, next bout, Jusei defeats Kinan Song. I took Jusei money line. He was like minus 155. Overall, actually, I made a couple units. Didn't make a whole ton of money. I took some risks that I really shouldn't have, like in Hernandez. I'll take it again, honestly, but I put most of my money on Jusei. He made it look easy. Like, I just knew that he would throw more. I don't think Jusei is particularly great, but I mentioned this concept of like picking fighters in specific spots. He's going to throw more. He has a good chin. He's bigger. The feints are good. I think eventually, though, with higher competition, Jusei is going to kind of get frauded out, but he got 30-27s across the board, so I was happy with that. Next bout, Andre Muniz defeats Jung Young Park. My bad, Iron Turtle. So I had picked Park, but I said I was going to bet Muniz, and I bet Muniz like plus 165, I believe. And I thought to myself, like, yeah, he can get the yearly sub. He's going to mix in wrestling. I knew he was going to go and wrestle fuck Park. It was just, is he going to survive? And in that first round, he got reversed. He got mounted. Punches came down. I'm like, it's the same old story, but he survived. And then something fantastic happened. Muniz was plus 475. So I'm like, I'm taking that motherfucker because like he's going to do the same stuff. And I could probably get a split decision here or maybe even like edge it out because that first round was pretty close. I'm like, if the judges give it to like Muniz, at least one of them, like I might be able to make some money here, especially if he can dominate the later rounds. Park, granted, I'll give Park round number 1. Round number 2 and 3 was to me all Muniz. The transitions on the ground. There was one point where Park took Muniz down in the second, and then Muniz kind of swept him. It was beautiful, controlled him. Pissed me off that he didn't throw any punches. That nearly cost him the fight for Muniz. I'll give it to him. Like he won the fight. Jung Young Park in the 3rd got on top a little bit, but it was a little too late. He had already gotten dominated on the ground. Had he thrown more punches, I think he could have gotten that split decision win for Park. It was a really close fight overall. We saw how good Park is, but we also saw, I guess, Muniz's cap as to how he can win fights moving forward as just kind of going back to the grappling. I'll take my money and forget about this fight. Tim Elliott defeats Sumajarji. I expected Sumajarji to put up a better fight. I knew Tim was going to take him down. I thought Sue was going to present a better defense on the ground with the grappling. Tim just made it look fucking easy, man. Tim Elliott is still out there. He had said something in the post-fight like, hey, I know my title aspirations are done. I just want to go and make money. And I'm thinking to myself, like, is Smash title dream Tim Elliott going to make a title run? And it's very possible. Like, he just doesn't seem to give a shit anymore. And I think in that, like, non-pressure state of mind, like, Tim Elliott just flows really well. And not to say that, like, Sumadarji was this, like, super huge prospect at one point, he would have been, but this was a good test for him and he didn't pass. I think Sue needs to make some adjustments out there, no longer put himself on the bottom, learn to get back up. Like moving to Team Alpha Male was a good move here, but Tim Elliott was just too experienced here. Like he was eventually going to get him down. Next bout, Jamie Malarkey gets knocked out pretty bad by Nasrat. The issue with Jamie, and I took a shot on Jamie to win at like plus something. Like I just felt as if it would be too close if, he survived in the first round. Jamie got hurt. And whatever reason, like I think there was a moment there where Jamie, if he would have pulled guard, he could have survived. But he just kind of stood back up, both hands on the mat, just getting uppercutted. And I'm like, props to Nasrat. Like he's really good at landing that left hand. Just that Jamie, I hate to say it, but Jamie might be kind of done because, like, although I think he's a scrappy fighter, his chin and his recovery has always been pretty good. Like even in that position, like he didn't get knocked out cold. It's just that he's not reacting as well as he used to in the past, where he would just recover and then get back up or just do something to stall. In this case, he just had his brain scrambled. So it just kind of sucks. Like I like Jamie a lot. I think he's a solid fighter. And I think he could have beaten Nasrat. It's just, again, poor decision making and excellent decisioning from Nasrat. Next bout, Khalil Roundtree. I took Khalil. What did I take him? I took him in a parlay. It was a Tim Elliott, Roundtree, or Tim Elliott doesn't go the distance, Roundtree, and then Song Yadong. So I won. And I also took Roundtree by inside the distance. So I got a little worried because he wasn't really throwing too much. When he would have Anthony hurt, you just kind of, you felt bad for him. I don't know. He's an empathetic guy. But that finish was pretty gnarly. It was just the threat of possible damage that led the ref to be like, okay, don't kill him. And Anthony Smith, I think he's like a certain fighter on UFC 296. I think he's done. I think there are going to be fights where he can win, but he is in that decline state. Like, he's not going to be fighting for the title. He's taking too much damage. He should have wrestled more. He should have attempted at least to wrestle more. Like, maybe he would have gotten Khalil down, but at least tax the gas tank. He looked regressed overall. Song Yadong defeats Chris Gutierrez. I'll give it to Chris. He looked pretty good early, but the man broke in that cage. I know a man that's broken. I knew he was going to lose in that second round. He was complaining about shots to the back of the head. He was just talking to the audience. Like, this guy was not mentally ready for a main event for 5 rounds. That 5th round where he goes for the Imanari roll, if I was his coach, I'd be like, get the fuck out. Like, you're out. Like, that, we told you, don't get on the ground. Don't do anything stupid. Keep it on the feet. And then he puts himself back down there. Positive notes, though, like, he was giving Song some trouble. I think if Chris can make those mental adjustments, maybe see your son. And I mean that, like, if he can get that darkness cleared up, it probably clear up some issues with him. Because he was talking about that during the press conferences. Like, hey, talking about, like, hinting at possible, So I was like I knew Song was going to win, but I knew how dangerous Chris is with, like, the movement. But Song looked good. Like, he adjusted. That's what I like about Song, that he can actually go for takedowns. Beautiful, like, single leg, dumped him down. And then that was, like, the beginning of the end for Chris, where, like, the threat of the takedown was going to lead to really nothing from him. Overall, though, 2 units made. Pretty happy. Still need to make some more money. The end of the year is coming up. So, yeah, I'm really excited about this main card. But let's get started. UFC 296, first fight of the night. This is at welterweight. We've got Handy Brown versus Muslim Salikhov. So let me check my notes on it before. I didn't write any notes because who gives a shit about this fight? It's a fight between two dudes that are easily beatable by each other. One's old, one's young, one's a little bit immature. He's not willing to get caught. He's more than likely able to get caught. Low leg kicks are really effective against him, but he's a very talented man. And Randy Brown, who is minus 296. Muslim Salikhov, I think his time is up. Like, he's nearly 40. At a certain point, he would have been like 38 years old, and I would still feel comfortable him beating pretty good competition like Randy Brown's. But the dude got hurt by Dalby, and that to me is like, this guy can't recover from that. He does good work. He's still very, very live for a knockout, but I really do think that Randy Brown is the rightful favorite here. I think he's going to win. I think he's going to knock out Muslim Salikhov in the later rounds, round number 2. Now, Randy, though, the issue with betting him, which I might put him on a parlay, but one that I'm, like, not interested in fully winning, if you know what I mean. Because I do expect Randy to do something stupid. Randy does stupid shit there all the time. Like, he puts himself in positions to get his head kicked off or punched off. Like, he gets a little too comfortable. He gets a little too swaggy. And a guy like Muslim early on can probably knock his head off. He ducks his head a lot, especially when, like, avoiding punches and stuff. And I think a properly placed kick could really hurt him here, like knock him out cold. He's been knocked out cold many a time. But with that reach advantage, the height advantage, possibly even the wrestling advantage, the cardio advantage, submission advantage, he just has to avoid Muslim early, kick him from the outside, poke and prod at him. And I think he can hurt Muslim more so than Muslim could hurt him. So I'm going to go with Randy Brown, round number 2, knockout. Next bout, heavyweights, we've got Martin Buday versus Shamil Gaziev. So I do have notes on these two, but this is a very, honestly, basic heavyweight bout. We've got kind of a mirror matchup here, but with some X factors for each. Minus 185 for Buday, which I was a little disappointed in. I was hoping he'd be the underdog. And then Shamil, plus 155. Now, undefeated Russian heavyweight or Bahrainian, whatever, plus 155. Is there value on him? Yeah, it's heavyweight. He can land. He hits hard. He has the wrestling advantage. Not necessarily the wrestling advantage, but he has the offensive wrestling advantage, I suppose. He's better at getting the takedowns. But I have issues with him. Number one, let me just make sure this is the right guy. I feel as if he's got a super padded record. I think his overall, his 11-0 record, he's only beaten like 2 guys with winning records. And there's a particular fight that he fought in, was it Brave or was it Aries? I think it might have been Aries. I thought he probably lost that one. It was against Kirill Karnalov. I needed to see that fight. It was a 3-round fight. I think that was his lone decision, which went to a split where he got exhausted. Like he got caught in a Kimura a few times, like a tight Kimura. But again, I feel like he's just fighting much smaller men. Like he fought Darko Stosic, who, although he moved up to heavyweight and has been knocking a lot of dudes out, according to, I think, Moon. Was it you who told me? Anyways, Darko, he's a light heavyweight. He's a short boy, and he knocked him out with punches. So I do believe he has power, but I don't know at what extent, because I know Martin Buday has a good chin. Martin Buday has a better gas tank. Martin Buday, to me, is better at getting submissions from awkward positions. Like, I think if Martin Buday was to have that Kimura, he would have finished that. We've seen him do that, obviously, in his last fight to Parisian. It's not apples to apples, right? Like, just saying that he got a fucking Kimura against Parisian doesn't mean he's going to get it against Gaziev here. I just do not trust Shamil, especially at this point. He's going to fight a guy who is going to potentially still be there. If he doesn't finish him early, say he does take him down, which I think is going to be really tough, because like Shamil and Buday are practically the same size, 6'4", big boys. And I think Buday's gas tank is going to prove himself. It's going to prove itself here. I think he's going to be able to withstand a lot of what Gaziev throws at him. I think Gaziev might even get him down a few times. So Buday might be able to just power himself back up. Buday has gassed himself, but I think if it goes to that extra mile, I think Buday is just better in those situations where if it becomes a clinching battle, I think Buday is better there. I think he can wear on him, land knees to the body, and potentially even finish him late, maybe knees to the head. I don't trust Shamil. I think he is worth taking a shot on. Like, he's an undefeated guy. He'll have that confidence of an undefeated heavyweight. He's going to throw punches. He might land on Buday, who's not particularly the best defensive fighter, although I do like his chin. I just feel as if Buday survives, it's going to be eventually he's going to be chipping away at Gaziev, and he's going to break him. I think Gaziev is a guy who is there to be broken. It's just that he hasn't really fought anyone. Like, even in the Contender Series fight, he got taken down by Greg Velasco, who's like 5'6" and super fat. So I don't trust the man. I'm going to go with Buday here to get a finish later, like round number 3 or 2. Now, again, I think Buday, he's tough. I don't particularly consider him to be like a top-level heavyweight, but what he does well is use his cardio, use his big body, tire people out, and finish them. And I think in this specific spot, it'd be really good for him. It's just that first round concerns me a lot. Like, if he gets dropped or if he gets kind of grapple fucked, I would prefer to live bet Buday. I think he's a really good guy to live bet, because I know if he survives that first round, Gaziev will have slowed down, and Buday is going to just be a little step ahead of him with the cardio. So I'm going to go with Martin Buday, 3rd round TKO. Next bout, Andre Fili versus Lucas Almeida. And we've got odds here. Touchy-feely, minus 180. Come back on Almeida, plus 150. I'll be honest, man. I was pretty high on Almeida. Like, I liked his style. He was super fun to watch. And the main reason I was high on Almeida was because I liked how he fought against Zellhuber. And I'm like, damn, like, Zellhuber. And I put Zellhuber really high at the time. I'm like, he nearly beat Zellhuber. Zellhuber then proved himself to show how good he was. And then he comes into the UFC. He knocks out Trezano. Trezano hurts him, though, pretty bad. And I actually bet him against Sabatini. And I'm like, dude, you're bigger than him. Just avoid one takedown, clip him, and you can win this fight. Nope, he got absolutely thoroughly dominated, which really put a hamper on me with him. And it made me realize as I got older and wiser that maybe him having a good round against Martin or Daniel Zohuber isn't all that it's cracked out to be, because as much as I like Zohuber, he needs a lot of work, even still. Like, I'm still waiting to see in his next fight if he makes the adjustments, but I've kind of soured a bit on Zohuber, which thus made me sour on Almeida. Touchy-feely, the issue with him is that he is so capable of pulling a stunt. Like, he's so capable of beating a lot of guys at featherweight, but yet very capable of like doing that one thing that makes him lose the fight, like leaving his chin exposed or just fighting too tentative or giving up takedowns or getting dropped, for God's sakes. But realistically, at minus 180, I think this is one of those fights where Fili just kind of gets back on track. I think he's just going to be too fast for him. I think he's going to be able to hurt Almeida. He's going to have that wrestling advantage as well. I like Almeida. I think it can be a fun fight. I think it can be a very close fight. I think, honestly, it's a 50-50 coin toss, because if Fili doesn't wrestle, he wants to test himself. He wants to be that, like, oh, I'm much faster and I'm a better striker. Then he can put himself in a position where he can get cracked by Lucas Almeida, because he throws hard. I like the way he strikes. Lights up the body sometimes. Just very sneaky with the left hooks. But to me, I think Fili is just much faster. So I'm going to go Fili round number 2. Main real reason I have listed down here is that, Fili does have the speed advantage, and Lucas Almeida got dropped by Michael Trezano. And that, to me, is like, that's a big no-no. So I've got Fili by second round knockout. Next bout, Tagir Ulanbekov versus Cody Durden. I've been going back and forth on this one, right? Because Cody Durden, he's plus 150. Tagir is minus 180. Now, what's so hard about this particular fight is that, like, I know how good Cody Durden has improved over the years. Like, he's just shown his dog. He's just a bad man. And I mean, skill-wise, like, he's dominating dudes on the ground. He's taking dudes back like Charles Johnson. Like, his striking has improved. His right hand has gotten tremendously better. Like, putting in that work, training with Pantoja, it is showing off. Like, the way he controls dudes. Like, when I saw him control Charles Johnson, I'm like, oh, fuck. This guy's taking his jiu-jitsu seriously. Like, he's gotten a lot better. My issue with Cody, though, is that I always worry about him gassing. Like, I don't think he particularly has, like, cardio issues. I think he just does a little too much. Like, in his last fight, he showed to have tremendous cardio, just because I think he's finally finding the pace he needs to fight at. As for Tagir's a very good grappler, but realistically, he's not much of a threat on the feet. Not a whole ton of power. I think Cody's going to have the power advantage. I think Cody might even have the, I guess, traditional jiu-jitsu advantage. For me, if Tagir can't really get his takedowns, there's not much he can do. I don't think he's a huge threat on the feet. I think he's very beatable standing. Cody's got the wrestling background as well. I think Cody can sneak one out. I really do. I think Cody can potentially even hurt Tagir on the feet. Like, I've always seen Tagir as a guy, again, you got to pick your spots with him, where he can dominate guys using that wrestling advantage. Like, he's got the jiu-jitsu to avoid getting swept off of his on top position. Someone on their back, that is. I just kind of see him a little harmless with his punches and kicks. Like, can he knock out Cody? Yeah, of course. Like, anyone can knock out anyone. But I think Cody, if he fights smart with better game plan, I think he can pull off some shit here, blast double, Tagir take his back, control him with the body triangle as well. I think he can land on him. I just think if Cody comes out here like a dog, like similar to Tim Elliott, how he pulled it off, maybe with less, fingering the gloves and illegal knees and shit, which it is what it is. Fuck Tagir. He fucked me that night. But I think Cody can get it done. Now, the issue with Cody, let's see here if I missed anything. The issue with him is that if this does become like a scramble heavy affair, I think Tagir is eventually going to get the better of those. I think Cody, if he gets put on his back, if he gets tired via the scrambles, via the overexertion of wrestling, I think Tagir is going to be able to take over. So it's a very dangerous fight. On top of that, Cody does have like the bad habit of, when going in for takedowns, leaving his neck exposed. And Tagir, not just because he submitted Nate Maness with a nasty guillotine, like, he's good at getting these guillotines. So it's a very dangerous fight for Cody, but I think if he's smart, which I think he's definitely improving. I think he can pull this off. Like, he's been on a plus money train for a while. And I don't want to say that I'm jumping on it because it's like taking off, right? Like, he can very well lose this fight. But I think it is worth a shot on Cody Durden here. Like, that All American Wrestling, I think he's slick enough to get it done. I just don't get choked out. Don't put yourself in a position where you gas out and then Tajir finishes you. Like, Tajir is still very, very lanky, still very good, but because they're going to be relatively the same size, which is funny because I always pictured Cody being shorter than Tajir. I always pictured Tajir being like 5'9", but I guess they're listed both at 5'7". I think even if it becomes a striking matchup where Cody just stuffs the takedowns of Tajir completely, like, yo, you ain't taking me down, I think Cody's going to have the better striking. I just think he's got that power in that right hand. So I'm going to go with Cody Durden to win this one by decision. Like, Cody doesn't really finish anyone, but if he finishes Tajir, then we fucking partying. All right, moving on. We've got Alonzo Menifield versus Dustin Jacoby. Now, plus 200 on Menifield, not too bad. Come back on Jacoby minus 245. No, I'm just going to go out and say I'm picking Jacoby here. I'm picking Jacoby by finishing the second round. I'm going to say TKO. The issue with Menifield, and I'll make it very quick. Let me just make sure I don't have any extensive notes. Like, let's look at Menifield's last few wins, right? We have starting with Askar Morozov. Turns out he's a fraud. I picked Morozov. I thought he could win. There was a moment where I'm like, yo, here it is. Get back up after getting taken down. Blast him. Morozov was just too Moraz fraud. Misha Serkinov, chinny as fuck. He lost to Wellington Turman, for fuck's sake. He's no longer in the UFC. Jimmy Crute went to a draw. That's like the biggest indicator here that I'm like, yeah, maybe Alonzo Menifield's having a lot of success because he's fighting people tailor-made for him. Jimmy Crute had potential. That potential's gone now. Like, he got submitted by Alonzo Menifield in the second fight. Now, the thing is that Jimmy Crute, no head movement, always there to get hit, makes bad decisions constantly. Like, I was pretty high on Jimmy because, like, you just see that he has that raw talent, that power, but he just never made the appropriate, proper adjustments, and now he's in the situation where he's like taking years off. Dustin Jacoby, for me, he's too smart, he's too slick, much better kickboxer. I honestly think he's going to be the better grappler here, where I don't think Jacoby wants to get it to the ground. I think he's just going to try to clinch with them if he needs to wear on the gas tank of Menifield. I call him Minute Man Menifield because he has basically a minute of gas where he is sharp as fuck, great punches, straight, good jab, good straight right hands. The guy's clean for about a minute, and after that, he gets really sloppy. He starts throwing like the bear paws. Instead of just going bop bop, he's like whoosh, kind of bear pawing at people, and Dustin's going to be able to counter him effectively very well. Now, Dustin's definitely smart. I know Dustin could probably get clipped here and dropped. I think his last fight was a very good indicator of how he's going to fight here. He used a lot of lateral movement against a guy like Kennedy and Zechiku. He eventually found his spot and dinked him, right? Now, here, Dustin just cannot throw naked leg kicks early. He's going to have to mix things up, throw to the head, wear on the arms of Menifield, and win this one pretty damn easily. I don't see really a way that Menifield wins this fight other than getting a knockout or really hurting Dustin. But even in the past, like, Dustin's been hurt, come back, and won and or gotten a draw. Like, he had something similar with what the hell's that dude's name? What is his name? That 40-some-year-old heavyweight. Give me a second. I got something in my eye. Can't remember that German dude. Where is that dude? Maxime Grisham. Like, he lost the first round, ended up coming back. Ian Kutalaba lost the first round 10-8, came back, got a split. I just think that he is just significantly better. He's going to have the better gas tank. He's going to be able to grapple better. I think he's going to be able to wear on the overall gas of Menifield, attacking body, like clinch knees. I'm pretty confident in putting Dustin Jacoby in here in a parlay just because, like, the striking in Menifield, again, it diminishes quite rapidly after a few minutes. So I'm going to go with Dustin Jacoby second round knockout. Wait, before I end it there, What are the issues with Jacoby? How can he lose this one? Again, I think if he gets dropped, I think if he potentially gets taken down, and I mean, first takedown, Menifield lands, and then he gets some good shots off on him, that's a good chance he could lose that one. So maybe Menifield round number one would be an interesting prop to take. But realistically, man, I've seen Jacoby defend takedowns for quite a while now. Like he's just definitely gotten better, training in elevation. Again, I really don't see much of him losing. Like if he loses, it's gonna have to be pretty early. That or he's gonna have to do something completely stupid, like him losing the first 2 rounds because he got severely hurt in the first, and then he tries to wrestle like he did in Mirzakhanov. I'm like, that was just piss poor game planning there. But I think he's primed here to get a nasty, devastating knockout in a second. Let's move on now to the ladies. We've got Casey O'Neill versus Ariane Lipski. I hate this fight because one of two things is going to happen here. But the odds currently have it minus 210 for O'Neill. Comeback on Lipski is plus 175. I think Lipski plus 175. Why not? Just take a shot on it. Do I think she's going to win? Not particularly. If I'm being completely honest, as I see it right now, not knowing the first, I guess, moments of that fight as to what's going to happen, I have it 51 O'Neill, 49 Lipski. Why I have O'Neill slightly ahead is because I think she has the style tailor-made to just defeat Lipski. Like Lipski's lost to this style many a times, but she's shown Lipski, that is, a lot of improvements in how to stuff takedowns. And that style is relentless pressure, get her down, get on top of her, pound her out, because she's got really nothing on her back after you kind of break her will. The relentlessness of Casey O'Neill is kind of her biggest positive, because there's a lot of negative there. She's a kickboxer, but her kickboxing's kind of trash, to be honest. But it doesn't matter when you're that relentless, right? Like you can be getting your ass kicked, but you can continue to go forward. You can go for those takedowns, good, sloppy, or whatever, as long as you get one. At that point, she just has the ability to get on top and control there. And Lipski, in the past, she's definitely had that happen. Montana De La Rosa, even fucking, excuse me, even Antonina Shevchenko did that to Lipski. It's just that, like, Lipski is shown to be, she's going to be the better striker regardless, right? I don't see a possibility or a real likelihood of Casey O'Neill, like, hitting her with her slow, sloppy ass punches or kicks. I think Lipski, for lack of anything, like, she's a solid enough kickboxer for a lady. But on the ground, I cannot trust her. I feel as if, although her takedown defense has significantly improved, like Melissa Gatto really couldn't do anything, JJ Aldridge couldn't do shit, it's not really the traditional takedowns that I think Lipski's going to have issues with. It's going to be like the Casey O'Neill goes for a trip, or Lipski throws a kick and Casey eats it with her face and drops her down and gets on top. That's what I'm most worried about. I'm going to pick Casey O'Neill to win this one by TKO. I'm going to say in like the second round. But I kind of feel like auto betting Lipski, because if Casey O'Neill cannot get a takedown, I think Lipski's going to just light her up, because her stand-up, just straight stand-up, is atrocious. I cannot condone her stand-up. Has she gotten better? I don't know. I know she's training out at Extreme Couture, also coming off of a ACL surgery. Is that correct? Yeah, she tore up her ACL. So there's just a lot of like negative things around Casey O'Neill, but the positive thing about her is that, although I trash her quite a bit, I do think she has that ability to just keep going forward. No matter how bad she's doing, I think she is capable of continuously pressuring. And I think Lipski is not going to like that. Whether if Lipski eventually succumbs to it, it's going to be a wrap, I think. If she does not succumb to it, I think Lipski's going to have a lot of success on the feet. So I'm going to go with Casey O'Neill, just because, again, I cannot trust Lipski, but I can bet on her at plus 175. I feel comfortable taking that risk. But I do think Casey O'Neill is going to come out here. She's going to definitely wrestle, just use her big body. She's 5'6". They're the same size. I just think O'Neill possesses a different kind of grittiness and style that can have a lot of success against Lipski. So I'm going to go with O'Neill, second round TKO, but not for the life of me. I'm not touching that fight. Next bout. I'll be very quick with this one. Cody Garbrandt versus Brian Kelleher. Cody minus 220, come back on Kelleher plus 180. Now, I went back and forth. I'm like, is there a way Kelleher can crack Cody? Is there a way that Kelleher can maybe jump for a guillotine? Maybe, but it's very unlikely. Kelleher at this point, 37 years old. He's 5'6". Funny enough, he's got an inch and a half reach disadvantage to Cody. Cody's only an inch and a half longer in reach, even though he's taller by like 3 inches. Now, to be quick on this one, Cody, we know his issues. Bad chin, kind of poor decision making sometimes. I think his last fight with Trevin Jones showed a lot of maturity in the sense of like he just needs to calm down a bit and just use your attributes to get wins here. Brian's going to need to close the distance. Cody's still very fast. I got Cody to win this one by knockout in the first or second round. I think Cody is going to use his speed, his power, and just, I hate to say it, his fight IQ. That kind of felt dirty saying, but I think he's going to use some fight IQ in this one. I think if he is very smart, he is going to play the matador here. He uses his kicks well. I feel as if against Jones, damn it. Trevin Giles is in welterweight now. But Trevin Jones, against him, he was using kicks very well, attacking the body nicely. The game plan here should be the same, like attack the body down the outside, counter effectively, let Brian come to you. Don't go for takedowns. Just kind of poke and prod at him. Like, Brian's not going to be able to hurt you at 135. He doesn't really possess that kind of power at 135. At 145, I think he can knock out Cody Garbrandt any day of the week. This is 135. I think that kind of diminishes the power of Kelleher. He does have some pop, but not the same. I just think Cody's going to be much, much too fast here. And attack the body. Just keep attacking the body from the outside. Use your reach, use your length. And then what's going to end up happening, because Kelleher is significantly shorter, I think Cody's going to come and wrap a nice shin to the head here. So I think Cody's going to knock him out. He's going to be patient. I picture it like a similar fight where like you're skirting on the outside, kicking the body, avoiding punches, skirting on the outside. Eventually, you just kind of crack him with a head kick that he just doesn't see coming because you're expecting it to come to the body. I would picture it like Valentina versus what's her face? Here, Evil Jessica I. I had to remember by doing the here we go, Evil. Here we go. Woof, woof. Yeah, I got Cody by knockout. Moving on. Another horrible fight here. Irene Aldana versus Carol Rosa. Minus 210 for Aldana. Come back on Rosa is plus 175. Aldana. Ooh, it's tough to pick her at minus 210 after that hideous performance against Amanda Nunes where she just didn't fight. It was just like, this woman is just untrustworthy in any spot, especially at minus 210. Carol Rosa, again, minus or plus 175, also very untrustworthy. Like, she had a stint up at 145 where it didn't look great. I thought, honestly, she looked pretty crap. I honestly thought she lost against Yana Kunitskaya. The issue with Carol is that she gets out physicaled by larger women. And in this fight, she's fighting a much taller woman with good striking and good boxing. I don't particularly think Carol has the best chin, especially like, she got kind of hurt by Lena Landsberg, and Lena's kind of the same size. She was able to control her best really path to victory is trying to wrestle with Aldana and trying to like clinch her up and avoid getting punched in the mouth. Carol Rosa is more than capable of winning this fight, given the fact that if Aldana is not prepared to grapple, which it's hard to say that she isn't, right? Like, she's definitely training with the right people, with that swooshy haired cunt that I love so much, by the way. It's just that, like, is she going to pull that stunt again where she forgets how to fight? Like, is she going to be like, oh, I don't, my many cats, I don't want to die against Amanda Nunes. Like it really disappointed me. Like she did not fight in that fight. She just let things happen, which to me, I'm hoping that lights a fire under her ass. But I think she will be the more physical girl here. It's just that if Carol Rosa gets her down and controls her, it's a very losing fight for Aldana. But from what I've seen again, I think Irene Aldana is just going to be the more physical girl here. And it's going to take eventually a couple shots for her to hurt Carol Rosa, whether it be, she gets dominated in the first, gets controlled. I think Carol's got decent enough output, but again, like I do not trust her with a really good striker here. This is the most danger she's going to be in with a woman that, although can get controlled to an extent, like hypothetically, let's just say she can control her for a majority of the like first and second round. I think Aldana still has that power, the reach, the technique to really crack and hurt Carol Rosa. Now, what did I write about? What did I write about her? Where's she at? I got nothing. I swore I wrote something. Whatever. Something about Irene Aldana being part cat lady and part turtle because like she's on her back a lot. I'm going to take Aldana by knockout in I think first, second round. I do think Aldana, she comes out here like motivated, like I'm going to come out here and prove a point. Like realistically, tell me if I'm wrong. If Aldana gets a knockout here, a vicious knockout, I think it puts her right in line to get another title shot at bantamweight, right? I do think that she's more than capable of just kind of skipping a bunch of people because there's no champion. There's nothing going on. Now, Aldana wins by vicious knockout here. She's motivated. She's not fighting the quote unquote greatest female fighter of all time. She survived into the decision. That should be something in her mind. Like, hey, at least I survived. She can't let Carol Rosa bully her like that. I think she's going to come out here and prove a point. She's going to have to. If she does not, then, fucking get more cats and just retire. But I've got Aldana round number 1. It's just, again, like, you can't trust her. Like, you really cannot trust either girl. Taking a shot on Carol Rosa, I would not feel comfortable either. So I'm going to go with Aldana first round knockout. I think she finds that left hook and drops her ass. Now let's move on to good fights here. This is the prelim main event. Fantastic fight. Short notice fight here for Bryce Thug Nasty fighting Josh Emmett. Josh Emmett plus 140 comeback on Bryce is minus 175. I went back and forth on this one quite a bit just because it is just so fresh of a matchup that I cannot truly imagine what is going to happen accurately. So it's kind of going to take a bit of a kind of guesswork here in the sense that, like, is Bryce Mitchell, who isn't really the best striker, can get hurt, has taken damage recently his last 2 fights, is he going to be able to out wrestle Josh Emmett, who, although is not the cleanest striker, is significantly a much better striker than Bryce, maybe not a better kicker. I think Bryce has definitely worked on his kicks. And on top of that, if he stuffs the takedowns, is he going to be able to be effective, or is he just going to be relentlessly getting taken down? I love me some Josh Emmett. After his last few fights, the guy is absolutely tough. He can take some damage. He won't quit. Like, I can trust Josh Emmett to come out here and at least work for my money. So part of me is like, because he is the dog, I kind of got to go with him. As for Bryce Mitchell, the guy himself as well is not a guy who's going to quit. Like, dude comes out here with a fucking Bible and he screams freedom again. I might have to cash out if I have Josh Emmett. You know what I mean? Like, it's a really close fight. I think it should be lined a little closer because I do think, although 38-year-old Josh Emmett, like, he's still got something, right? Like, he's still got some speed. He still has the power, especially against Bryce, who's, again, not the cleanest striker. And knowing that Bryce is going to need a takedown, if he gets a takedown, I do think Josh can get back up. But how many times is going to be able to get back up? Will Bryce take his back? Like, what I do love about Bryce, regardless of anything, is that he is a pretty damn solid jiu-jitsu guy. Like, he is good off of his back. Maybe not good enough to sub Josh, but I think he's good enough to create nasty scrambles. I think he's able to get the back. The guy is very creative. Like, definitely you can't take that away from him. Like, say what you want about Bryce. Like, the guy is entertaining as fuck. Josh Emmett, like, is his time done? Like, he lost to recently a former champion in Yair Rodriguez. It pains me to say that. And a guy who might become champion in Ilia Topuria. Are those 2 losses that bad that we're going to say Josh Emmett's fucking done? I don't know. I don't feel comfortable saying that. I went back and tried to rewatch fights where Josh was getting taken down. And the only one I could really go back and see was at lightweight against Des Green. And even then he got back up. I don't know. I really don't know, because neither guy has really fought, except for, I guess, the exclusion of Bryce, where he fought a grappler as well, in the sense of Ilya. They both fought Ilya. Shit, Josh didn't get finished by him. Josh hasn't really fought a relentless wrestler in the division. He's fought mostly grapplers, and he did fight Mirsad Bektik, but Matt Bektik, the only time he shot for a takedown is after he was wobbled. So it's hard to say how good Josh's takedown defense truly is, because right now there's no real way to gauge it, because if Ige kind of got him down, but he's not the same type of wrestler as Mitchell, so it does worry me here. Josh will be kind of he's going to be the shorter guy, obviously, so I think him being able to stuff the takedowns would be a little easier. It's going to be a fun fight. I think there's a good chance this could be a split decision as well, because Bryce, if he can't get the takedowns, like in his last fight with Ige, like funny enough, both these guys fought Ige, and they both beat him, but they both also kind of lost to Ige. I would give Ige 2 rounds against Bryce Mitchell, even though the scorecards had it basically 30-27 Mitchell, which I thought was weird. That power of that Bible, though, I'll tell you, it probably convinced the judges. I got to go with, I like both of these guys a lot, but I got to go with my boy Josh. Like, taking that ass whooping against Topuria, and like the look in his eye, like, this fucking dude fought with a torn leg, and he still found a way to win. And on top of that, I also think that Josh has the ability to get takedowns on Bryce. I don't think Bryce has the best takedown defense himself, because he's like willing to scramble, but Josh himself doesn't even go for takedown. So it's such a fun fight. I think this is a great prelim closer. It's going to be fantastic. Like, I'm going to go to the theater to watch the main event, the main card, that is. So like, on the way, I'm having my fucking girlfriend drive me, because I'm watching this fight on the way to the theater, because I really do think it's going to be a possible fight of the night. I do think there's a good chance it could go split. I got to go with the Emmett decision here. I think Emmett has the power to even knock out Bryce Mitchell. Emmett has taken a ton of damage himself, so maybe the first head kick that Mitchell throws knocks him out. It's just, there's so many variables here, because I can't gauge how well Josh is going to do. Like, he's a lifelong wrestler training at Team Alpha Male. I'm positive he's prepared for the takedown defense. But if Bryce can't get that takedown, is he going to strike with Josh? And is Josh going to be effective? Because he gets a little wild. He's a little too, power heavy. I think it's going to be a really close fight. So I'm going to go with Emmett by a decision here. Moving on. Main card opener. We've got Vicente, the Silent Assassin Luque, versus the future Ian Gary. I thought about this fight pretty damn hard. Like, what are the chances that all the shit that Gary's been deservedly getting is going to affect him here? There's a lot of shit going on with Gary. Maybe I don't know everything. Maybe I'm wrong, but like, he's not at Kill Cliff. I don't know specifically if it was because of the contradiction here with Luque also being like a long time Kill Cliff member, but he's at Shootelbox. There's talks about him getting knocked out by fucking Leon Edwards. There's all this crap, his wife stuff, which, it is what it is. Him being an asshole, the whole shit with Neil Magny. Like, I thought, after I heard, I don't know if this is real or not, but I did read something about like Neil's having issues with like custody of his kids. Like, there's something happening there, because Ian Gary was a fucking cunt. The guy is absolutely talented, though. Like, he is incredibly fast. He's a good sponge of information. Good looking kid, right? Like, you say what you want about his family. The guy is incredibly fast, good kicker, good striker. Like, he can do it all. He's just definitely the future. But the man's a mad cunt, though. As for Luque, to me, I love Luque. I've been a fan of Luque for a long time. Win or lose, like, I will criticize him for like looking like he's diminished. And, he's had issues in the past. He's openly discussed about like his brain bleeding and whatnot. But I think Luque is just one of these guys that, like, no matter what, like, he'll go out there on a shield. And he is currently plus 285. And they come back on Gary again, minus 360. I have to say that I think, regardless of my pick, regardless of my thoughts on this fight, I think Luque is like a almost guaranteed bet. Like I have to bet Luque in this spot because God, like if there's an issue in the press conference and Colby starts talking mad shit on Gary, then that distracts Gary and that pisses him off and he's not focused and shit that could lead to Luque taking advantage. That's just like a possibility, right? It's not like a guarantee, but it's a possibility that like maybe Gary's head isn't all in it. I'm looking at his Instagram and it's almost like he's not truly focused. Like the bad publicity is really affecting him. And that's not to say that he's not going to come out here and look fantastic, because the thing with this fight, like path to victory for Luque, like counter, like Luque has a weird ability of landing beautiful counters on guys, even if they're faster than him, taller guys as well. Like he is short by what, 3 inches here. Luque, funny enough, has the 2-inch reach advantage over Gary. Gary's fast. Gary is more than capable of doing a point fighting decision here, maybe even knocking out Luque with something. But the thing about Gary is that I don't trust his chin. I haven't trusted his chin in a long time. And a guy like Luque, who will pinpoint counter this boy, very good chance of knocking him out or hurting him. And the thing is, if he hurts Machado, I'm not even going to say Machado's chin is so bad that he's going to get knocked out cold. If he gets rocked in any sort of way, Luque isn't going to go and finish him with strikes, especially if he's on all fours. He's going to go for that anaconda choke. So I think Luque's win or lose, man. I think he's worth a shot. But I cannot go against Gary. The reason, and I'll give you particular reasons why I like Luque in this spot betting wise. But the thing with Gary is that, like, I don't think he gives a shit about making a fight boring. I think he's more concerned about keeping his O. We saw in his last fight with Magny that he used a lot of low kicks. They're going to trade low kicks here. I think Luque would be wise to throw the low kicks here against Gary. I don't know if Gary's going to try to grapple with Luque. I think it would kind of be nice to have him mix it up. But if Gary extends this fight and he tries to make it a pretty, like, I'm on the outside, I think Luque will eventually bite on his mouthpiece and go after him. Whether it's successful or not, at least I can trust Luque to go for that. What I like about Luque, what I mentioned about him fighting taller fighters, the guy, even against like Jalen Turner and Randy Brown, much taller guys, like Luque finds a way to like pull back and then counter with the left hook and the hooks. You can criticize him for his fight against Rafael Dos Anjos, but what I kind of noticed, and I could be way fucking off here, and you can let me know, but because Dos Anjos is the shortest dude Vicente's ever fought, it kind of threw off his ability to fight him because he's just too short. The risk of him looping over for a hook or countering could lead into a takedown. So he kind of felt as if like, the striking's not really working, but let me try to out wrestle a guy that I know has been out wrestled because he used his physicality. He's just a bigger dude. Here against Machado, I think he can mix up takedowns, not maybe hold him down. I think Machado's going to pop right back up, but like that threat. And then if Machado, I call him Machado because really he's no longer Irish. Fuck him. He's Brazilian. If Machado throws a jab, I think Luque can slip and counter more effectively than he would have against, Dos Anjos, who maybe had too much respect for him. I don't fucking know. But I think I wouldn't bet Gary. I'm going to pick Gary just because I think he will have that speed advantage. I think on the outside, he can poke and prod. He can make life really difficult for Luque. If that lateral movement has given Luque a lot of issues in the past. Like Bitch Law Muhammad did it, and Jeff Neal, obviously, like he was just too speedy for him. Yeah, I think, unfortunately, Gary keeps his O, but hand to God, I'm putting a shot on Vicente Luque. I don't know how much I'm going to put on him, but I really do think, I think he's got a shot here. And I was talking to people in the Discord. Herb Dean is like, is he washed? I'm like, either Luque is, like, in his last fight looked kind of funky because of what I just mentioned, the height advantage, or just him not being able to get it off of his striking, or he might be washed. I hope I'm right about what I said. Like, he just kind of looked a little off because of the height advantage. And sometimes it's a little different. Like when you're throwing hooks like that, you kind of want to aim high. You can't really aim low, especially with a guy who's got that kind of jiu-jitsu. I think he was just a little tentative. I think here, I've seen the pictures of him. He's training with the right people. He's training with the former, I don't know if he's current Bellator champ or final Bellator champ, Jason Jackson. that reach is going to really look is going to be good for him. I cannot find myself picking Luque as much as I really want to, because I know how cunty Machado is going to be. He's just going to be on the outside, like skirting along and just picking at him, poking at him. And if he, for example, checks some kicks, he doesn't eat too many of these kicks. He's going to do that for 3 rounds. So that's going to suck. But yeah, again, I'm going to bet Luque, but I think Machado is going to do his cunty thing and win. Next bout, we've got Tony Ferguson versus Paddy the Baddy Pimblett. Plus 285 for Ferguson. Comeback on Pimblett is minus 360. I'm not going to waste time here. I'm just going to say it, and it hurts to say, but Tony Ferguson ain't got it no mo. He doesn't have it. Like, he just, back in the day, he was not getting submitted. Now he's been submitted, twice in a row? This is going to be 3 times in a row now. Paddy Pimblett is going to finish Tony Ferguson. Like, Tony's just not the same anymore. Like, he's not as athletic. He's definitely, obviously, 40 years old. I saw a video today, funny enough, and this wasn't what swayed me. I already had the thought that he's just not the same. Like, you can say he's going to come out here and maybe knock out Paddy. He's training with that Goggins guy and getting in the best shape of his life. Like, you can get in the best shape of your life, but it's not the same as fighting shape. Paddy, I know he gets overweight and stuff, but like, the guy is still in his prime. He's still very young, and criticize him all you want. He is very slick, especially with those back takes, and he does have power, and Tony's just not the same dude anymore. Like, you can just see it. He's just not as athletic. But that video that I saw was of him as he's getting announced, like, oh, Tony El Cucuy, and he's doing like a wrestling slide, like, and you see the progression of him doing it, like in 2016, 2018, and then 2022, he's just not able to like move the same way. Like, you can tell he's just broken down. And it's the mentality of Tony that is like, it's crazy, because I love Tony. His brain does not want to listen to his body telling him that he can't do it anymore. And I get it, but like, it's time, man. It's unfortunately time. Paddy, I would love Tony to finish Paddy, to beat Paddy, just because I want to see Tony off into the sunset. Like, the guy put on some of the greatest fights I've ever seen. Like, shit, one of the best moments I ever had was like, we had just come back from watching a UFC event in LA. I think it was in the Staples Center at the time. Me and some buddies, Jose and his buddies, we all got together. And like the night before or the week before, it was Tony versus Edson Barbosa. And one of the guys was like, dude, you have to watch this fight from yesterday, because we didn't see it. And he's like, well, let's take a look. And it was like, holy shit. Like, we had just finished watching a great event. We went back and we watched the Tony Ferguson fight, and we were like eating tacos and just enjoying it. And that was like a moment I'll never forget. So it's like sucky to say that a guy like Paddy fucking Pimblett's going to finish him, but I think he is going to eventually finish him in the second round. I think he will take his back. I think he's going to have some good work. Paddy's very tricky, very slick with like controlling the arms. And I think Tony, if you're getting finished by Bobby Green by submission, and Bobby ain't no slouch, but it's like, if you're losing to Bobby Green by submission after, defending submissions from, Charles Oliveira and Benny Dariush, Paddy Pimblett, a submission specialist, I think he's going to be able to get the job done. And it like pains me to say. So I'm going to take a shot here for Tony. All right, moving on. Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. The hell's on my notes here? Yes. Shavkat is Wonderboy's reckoning. He is literally the bane to Wonderboy's Batman. He's going to break him. He's going to do whatever he wants to him. Let me suck on Shavkat's Shaft Cat real quick. I talk about the concept of what is known, or what I call, is a Carlos Condit record, or a Condit record, where you have, in his case, all finishes, but there was a point where Carlos Condit had nothing but finishes. He had equal amounts of knockouts to submissions. And at this point, Shavkat is up on submissions, and I think he's going to want a knockout to make everything just perfectly balanced and perfect. He's going to be 18-0. with 9 knockouts and 9 submissions. And that just is fantastic. Like Shafkat, I think he is just, like I mentioned, the reckoning for Wonder Boy's reckoning. He's gonna fuck up Wonder Boy, and the only way Wonder Boy wins this fight is that if Shafkat decides, I don't want to wrestle, I want to be like my best friend, my hero, that fucking idiot Kevin Holland. I want to strike with Wonder Boy, not mix things up, not make life easier for me. I think Shafkat does have the striking to knock out Wonder Boy, but I think the smartest thing to do is to take him down, mix in the takedowns, obviously. Like Shafkat really can do it all. He can do no wrong, other than occasionally getting cracked by Jeff Neal. But even then, like he's shown a great chin. What did I write about this man? Let's see here. Yeah, what's funny is that I recently saw that Shafkat did not attend his sister's wedding to train for Wonder Boy, and shit, I didn't even read the odds. Minus 550 come back on Wonder Boy, plus 400. With the ability to wrestle, the ability to strike, the power, fuck, he even pulls Gilly properly. He can do no wrong in this fight. Like, the only way I think Wonder Boy wins is by being incredibly elusive, defending takedowns. But as we've seen as of late, he's been getting taken down by likes of Bilal Muhammad and Gilbert Burns here. I think Shafkat's gonna do a ton of damage, where Shafkat doesn't need to get it to the ground, but he will get it to the ground. I think he's gonna finish him up with ground and pound. Nasty, nasty ground and pound. And on top of that, Shafkat, if he doesn't want to, which would piss me off, I'm like, go for the takedown. I think he's still more than capable of catching Wonder Boy with like straight punches or just nasty, nasty kicks. Wonder Boy still got it. He can still crack. He can still strike. He's a phenom on the feet. But with a guy like Rakhmonov, who isn't going to give you that space, who will threaten that takedown, it's just no way that I see Shafkat losing this fight. I will predict knockout just because I believe in order in the world. He needs to have that perfect record, but there's a good chance he can definitely get that submission. So I'm going to go with Rakhmonov. Round number 2 TKO. I think he's going to put a beating on Wonder Boy, take him down, finish him up with the ground and pound. Next bout, co-main event for the flyweight championship. We got the rematch here. We got Alexandre Pantoja versus Brandon Royval 2. Now, I am more than excited for this fight. Like, I love the main event, but like I love this fight too, just because it's a rematch where I thought both, obviously the winner of that was Pantoja, but I really thought Brandon had a really good shot, and I thought he was looking good. And the way Brandon's been fighting as of late, he's on a 3-fight winning streak. Like, he hasn't really changed anything other than just being slightly more intelligent. But the guy is just a whirlwind of chaos. He is a raw dog for a reason. And if Brandon wins this fight, I will tell you, I'll fucking go ballistic in the movie theater. Pantoja, like, as much as I like Brandon, like, Pantoja's a bad man. The guy absorbs punches, goes forward. He finds ways to win. He could get his ass kicked early, but he'll still find a way to beat you. He'll take your back, submit you, knock you out. The guy is fantastic. Rightfully deserved that win against, I guess, the 15th win over Brandon Moreno. The guy is just absolutely a great fighter, great striker, powerful punches. Obviously can take your back. He's got a way of taking your back that's fantastic. He mixes in really good wrestling, really good sweeps, excellent jiu-jitsu. He's minus 175. Come back on Royval is plus 145. I'm going to make this clear cut. I'm picking Royval. I'm picking Royval for the upset. I'm picking him by submission in the 3rd round. Let me tell you, I do these a lot. I'm picking Royval because I'm a ride or die Royval fan. Like, I know, and I will tell you, I know he's more than capable of getting knocked out. Now, I'll tell you, I did the exact same thing against Nicolau. I thought Nicolau rightfully had a good chance to finish him here. But I'm like, Royval is just too fucking much of a wild card. He can do it all. He can knock you out. He can put on the pressure on you and break you. He can submit you from anywhere. But on the opposite end, as much as he's likely to do that, he's also very likely to get knocked out, get hurt, get dropped, get submitted. Obviously, he's been submitted by Pantoja. But I think what he does so well is that he weaponizes his pace. And he's so awkward and funky that in that first fight, you saw Pantoja like getting tired, getting gassed. And had he not gone for that back take, and if Royval hadn't have made that mistake and basically given up the back at that point, like in the first round, he gave up the back and he survived against Pantoja. Here, I think if he's more calm and if he just kind of relaxes a bit, knowing that he has more time, it's a 5-round fight. I think he can wear on that gas tank of Pantoja. And the thing is that Pantoja, great chin, but I do think if Royval can't finish him, he's going to have to do something nasty to Pantoja to finish him with strikes. Because fuck, Figgy couldn't even do it. I believe in Brandon, but the reason submission is that I don't care how good of a black belt you are, Royval with those lanky ass arms, he will find something. And I think he's going to catch him like in a guillotine or a rear naked choke, where Pantoja's like going to be too tired. And in this case, like Royval's still going to have the cardio, obviously training in elevation, where his gas tank, his cardio, his scrambling is just going to be there. He's going to give up position. He's going to get position over Pantoja, and he's going to start dropping elbows. And, because Pantoja's too damn tough, he's not going to get knocked out by whatever Brandon throws. He's going to end up exposing the neck and then losing that one. Like, it's going to suck because, like, I like them both, but I like Royval a lot more. But I know the risk. I know the risk in betting Royval. I don't fucking care. I've been doing it for like a while now, and it is mostly profitable. Like, raw dog, ride or die. On top of that, I met the man's aunt, so I can't piss her off. I've told people this a lot. I'll say it again. I don't give a fuck. His aunt is friends with my girlfriend's aunt, so it's like by default, like we're family. So, anyways, I'm going with my boy Royval. I can't pick against him. I do think, and I really do mean it. I really do think, nut hugging or not, that he has a really good chance here against Pantoja. Like, Pantoja took a lot of damage. He's taken a lot of damage, and if Royval fights 100% like whirlwind Royval, he is like more than capable of finishing Pantoja, more than capable of hurting him. And it could even be Royval just dominating him on the card, just putting that pressure on him. But I know how good Pantoja is, right? I know that he's one back take away, or he's just, one punch away from swinging this fight, it's going to be fantastic. I'm going to love this fight as long as it lasts. I do hope it goes all 5, but I am still, again, rooting for Royval. I'm going to go nuts if he wins. Royval round number 3 submission. Oh, look at that, Paddington Bear. We've got main event. We've got Leon Scott versus Chaos Colby Covington. I was going back and forth with this one as well, because the mind will play tricks on you. And sometimes you need tape. And you need more tape to kind of get a better idea. Just because, like, Colby's been away for a while. He's coming in here. His final shot, he's 35 years old. Final shot at the title. This is it. I think this is 100% it. And he's an underdog. And he's plus 120. And Leon Edwards minus 145. Now, Leon obviously beat the guy that Colby couldn't beat, and Usman. He beat him twice. But I have to go back and rewatch those fights, right? Like, because I know the perception of Rocky Edwards is that, like, he's a very talented fighter, and I'm not discrediting that. I will tell you, like, he's fantastic everywhere. He's a better striker than Colby. I think his jiu-jitsu is a little slicker. I think his clinch work is better. Knees, elbows, he's just the more dangerous. He's more of a wood chipper, right? Compared to like Colby Covington, who, you can call him pillow fists. He doesn't really have a whole ton of power. He will mostly weaponize his cardio and his pace. And I'm thinking, like, man, is Colby going to be able to pull this off? Like, I know he's more than capable of just wrestling against Leon, but like, my mind was telling me, like, man, Leon was able to stuff takedowns against Usman, and like, what if Leon uses his clinch and like attacks the body, stuffs takedowns, knees the body, possibly head kicks Colby. Like, Colby's been hurt before. And then I went back, rewatched tape. I'm like, all right, let's see Colby fight a tall, lanky dude. How was he able to take him down? Because, like, he's going to have a significant height disadvantage here by what, like a couple inches. The issue there is that Rocky is so tall, he's able to, like, kind of, what do they call it? Like, tripod and just avoid getting taken down at points here. And Colby, I'm like, has he ever fought someone so tall, like maybe 6'3"? He did fight a dude. This is like back in the day, right? Like, I'm not gonna like use this as like the main example. It's like, oh, I think Colby's gonna win because he fought a guy named, what the hell was his name? Jonathan Munir, who is, damn, he's still 9-2. Good for him. 6'3". And I went back, rewatched it. This was, what year was it? 2016. 2016. And how did Colby fight him? Well, exactly like Colby does. He wared on him, took him down, pounded him out a little bit, and then come around number 3 after exhausting him, just took his neck, choked him out. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I know he's capable of doing that. Like, but damn, going back and watching that prime young Colby was like, holy shit. Like, that's incredibly impressive. Like, I didn't really appreciate it at the time. I'm like, I thought the guy was boring, but like understanding the like pushing and pulling, like using that like momentum, like not wanting to get specifically the takedown, but like just wearing on your opponent that way was like, damn, this guy is fucking good. Like going back and watching him just dominate dudes like that. You know, he's definitely fought tougher competition over the years, but and it's not going to make him look as good as, you know, fighting a guy like Jonathan Munir. But I'm like, okay, at least I know he has fought someone that tall, and he can probably do the same here to Leon Edwards. But I'm like, damn, but Leon again, he beat Usman. Going back and watching Usman and Leon too, there was a lot of shenanigans on that fight, like a lot. And I did not really pay too much mind to it at the time because I wanted Leon to win. I picked Usman to win the third fight, but I actually bet Leon. I'm like, fuck it. Like, I can't take the shot to fade Usman. I'm like, maybe he's going to come out gun shiny. He essentially did. There wasn't much wrestling from Usman. Usman did have success with the wrestling, with the clinching against the cage, but there was a lot of fucky stuff because I'm like, Leon's cardio looked pretty good, held up for all 5 rounds. I believe that would be because there were so many stops within that fight, so many fouls committed, lots of nut shots, fence grabs that created a moment there where Leon kind of took a breath. On top of that, Usman wasn't as effective or even really attempting much grappling or takedowns. Even in that case, I'm like, he's not really throwing knees to Usman like in the clinch. He's not really doing much other than defending and like landing the occasional shot. It was a very slow paced fight. And then the second fight, Usman essentially dominated him, just like against the cage, tired him out. Went back and rewatched the fight Leon versus Gunnar Nelson because I remember like there was some grappling there. I want to see how good Leon's takedown defense is because he's fought some grapplers in the past, but as of late, he's just been the much bigger guy, been able to stuff takedowns because the amount of cardio and the amount of like pressure that Colby's going to bring to him is going to be like next level. And I want to see, say, if I want to bet Leon, not going to happen, but if I wanted to bet Leon, if I was that stupid, if I was that anti-American, what would be the path to victory? How does he look? There were some issues there with Nelson. Nelson was able to control him. Nelson's not as a fantastic wrestler as Colby. And I was like, that was a few fights ago. You know, Leon's gotten better. My ultimate decision came down to like, is Colby going to be able to, you know, not get hurt or get cut by an elbow? Is he going to be able to just push that pressure? There's other little nuances as well. Colby is a southpaw. And if you don't know, the last 2 people to really hurt Leon Edwards were southpaws, and another guy known for his quote-unquote pillow fists in Nate Diaz. He caught him with the left hand. Another guy who's a southpaw is Brian Barberena, who caught him. I also think here, because of the southpaw, like they're both southpaws, I think Colby is going to have some success on the feet. Not ultimate success, like, oh, he's going to whip his ass. But I wouldn't put it past Colby maybe catching him with something. Just because, like, Leon, he's a more experienced striker. But I think Colby is good enough. Like, he's not the prettiest. He does throw some pretty techniques, but it's just all put out there as volume to eventually get the takedown. I think Colby absolutely needs this win. I think he'll win it. He'll do whatever he can by any means necessary. There's also an issue that I think Leon might even lose points grabbing the cage. Now, that's another thing. If those don't get counted, if say it's like Herb Dean and he's like not taking points, this could be a big old sweat for Colby, right? Like, But I think that ability to shoot, reshoot, duck under, like Usman doesn't really have that ability because he's got the bad knees. He's more of like clinching on top, ducking under a little bit. I think Usman really laid out the groundwork in that second fight for Colby to just relentlessly attack, essentially rinse and repeat what he did to Masvidal. And I think he will tire out Usman eventually. I think he's going to wear on the gas tank. It's just, how is Usman going to react to that? Is Usman going to try to get his own takedowns? Is he going to try to jiu-jitsu his way out of this if he gets taken down? I don't know if Colby's going to have the ability to finish Leon, because Leon is solid. Like, he couldn't get finished by a world champion jiu-jitsu boy like Gunnar Nelson. But I know Colby's been talking about like how his submissions have gotten better. I would look to see if maybe Colby by a submission would be a play if he just kind of batters him. It's just, he's going to have 5 rounds pushing forward. He isn't going to stop. He's going to move forward. He's not going to give him an inch. He's not going to let him breathe. Leon's going to try to be pretty on the outside, throwing kicks. And I think Colby is going to eventually get him against the cage. Maybe not even go for the takedown. I don't even think Colby needs to take him down. Just put him against the cage, tire him out, push him, pull him. That shit is exhausting, and that's Colby's world. Like, especially like you mentioned, he ain't going to lose in front of Trump. This is a tough fight for both men. I'm not saying this because, again, like, I do believe Colby can win this fight. He's the underdog. I think he's got a lot of plus and a lot of upside. I don't particularly think Leon is great with the cardio. I think he is if he fights at his pace, but he's never fought that pace against Colby. You can say he got gassed out against Usman in the second fight, but yeah, that was elevation. But Usman didn't get tired. Usman just got sloppy. I think Colby's going to put that elevation up his ass with that wrestling. So I'm going to take Colby Covington to win this one. I'm going to go by a decision. I think he batters him. I think he breaks him down little by little. It won't look pretty, but it's going to be incredibly impressive, where all Colby really has to do is not make the same mistakes he did against Masvidal, just kind of getting a little lackadaisical, and not make the same mistake that Usman did, is just letting him breathe. Just keep pushing, getting him tired. Again, putting him against the cage, picking him up, dropping him, putting him on all fours, let him get back up, doing the same, just get him tired. And I think he's going to have a good time here, where he's just going to be like mean mugging, talking shit, and Leon's going to have to look for that knockout. Now, that's how I predict that happening. The other option is if Leon has improved his takedown defense well enough to like avoid everything from Colby, keeps it on the outside, picks him apart. The issue I have with Leon there is that he's not super active. He picks his shots. He's more of a calculated striker. So it's just, I think Colby, with that chaos style, is going to be able to just push forward. Now, if Colby gets knocked out early, it's going to suck, right? Because this is his last chance. I just think that Colby's just ultimately determined to get this win. And I think he's more than capable of winning this fight. Some might call it a boring decision, but like by doing that, by just clinching him, tiring him out, I don't think Edwards is going to. I was wanting to see how Edwards looked in that clinch against like Usman and other folk. And I don't know, he doesn't really throw too many knees. Sometimes he does throw the occasional elbow, but I think he's going to be too worried about having his knee caught and then get taken down. Like, I think Colby's just going to run through him. That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm leaning towards based off what I'm seeing right now. If Leon does attack the body in the clinch, just wear on Colby's gas tank. Like, I don't care how good Colby's gas tank is, his cardio is going to get affected if you just blast him to the body. But having that same stance, I think Leon does have the occasional issue there, because like with southpaws, you're so used to seeing the opposite, right? You're so used to seeing the orthodox striker, and having a Colby Covington there kind of moving and being unpredictable and knowing that he wants to take down, I think that adds that additional layer that, like, I'm telling you, there's a good chance that I can see Colby just like pillow fisting him and rocking the shit out of Leon, because Leon does not have the best chin. He has a solid enough chin, but I think if you crack him just right, it doesn't really matter how hard you hit him. It's going to wobble him bad. And if he gets wobbled here against Colby, it's going to not look good for him. So I'm going Colby Covington decision. Man, I'm being honest when I'm saying like I wanted to see a little bit more from Leon. Like in my memory, I'm like he's got all these tools, but I've yet to really see him pull them off when he needs them. Like I think Colby is going to be able to clinch him eventually, get him against the cage eventually, and then pick him apart. He's got 5 rounds. So yeah, I'm going Colby Covington to win this one by decision. Now, if Paddington Bear is cage side, I'm putting everything on Leon Edwards. Paddington Bear is he's a good cornerman. Like he's just midway through, like Leon's like, oh, I'm guessing out, and then Paddington's like, have this marmalade sandwich. Should be banned, by the way. And then Leon does something amazing like a spinning go-go plata or something. But yeah, those are my predictions for UFC 296. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, whatever. But yeah, final card of the year. Looking forward to it. Hope you enjoy it. I will see you next year. What is the first card? Ankalaev versus Walker 2. Hopefully there are no children in attendance for Johnny Walker to hit up. But yeah, let me know what you think. I will see you next year. Have a happy Merry Christmas and Hanukkah and Junica and all that good stuff. So later.